Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, best chocolate-covered food.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
You're
Welcome
the best
to We Got This with Mark and Welcome to We Got This with Mark and Hal, the show that Welcome to We Got This with Mark and Hal, the show that settles the debates that nobody else will touch. Except for this one, because you want to put it in your mouth and eat it.
Yeah, I love me some chocolate-covered food.
Can I quickly talk about, first of all, thank you to Kevin Francis for suggesting this.
Thank you, Kevin.
Can I quickly talk about chocolate-covered orange slices, which I know will not win because
they're very good.
I disagree, but one of my best friends, Damien, always had like sort of I wouldn't say an elevated palate. I would say like a fancy palate, like always liked fancy
foods. What's the
foods.
difference?
I think one is like an elevated palate is like I taste everything in this. I can sort of pick stuff apart, as opposed to fancy being like I like acoustic, like all it just, we always talked about like snobby food choices.
Mm-hmm.
You would make snobby food choices, and he's not a snobby guy, but I would always have a chocolate covered orange for him because the joke was that it seemed like the kind of food he would like based on everything else he eats, but he didn't like them. So I would always suggest to people like, oh, you should get Damien a chocolate covered orange. He would love that. That's the perfect thing.
I like chocolate-covered orange slices.
No,
I think they're tasty.
I do not like that.
Not a fan?
They do have a lot of tastes to them. That is true.
Yeah.
There's no way it's winning this. There's no way on earth it's winning this.
That's fair. I have, as I frequently do, one way to break this down into a couple of categories. I think there are two categories of chocolate-covered food.
Sweet and savory.
That we're dealing with, sweet and savory. No, I think the two different versions of a chocolate covered food, and we might come up with one from each of them. We might realize that one of them is just already better to begin with. And it's all based on who is the one covering the food in chocolate. Is it something that arrives to you chocolate covered and the chocolate is cooled? Or is it something that you dip in hot, warm chocolate to make it chocolate covered?
Oh, like a fondue?
Right.
To me, in my brain, chocolate covered foods are things you purchase already coated in chocolate.
Okay.
As opposed to like, cause fondue is a great opportunity. I love a fondue.
Yeah.
Melting pot fan over here.
Sure. That was a prom night, man.
Yeah. It's fun to like, so chocolate dipped strawberries would count because you often have them, you know, they're already made for you.
Right.
But as opposed to like a Rice Krispie treat on a stick that you dip in and then immediately eat it while it's still wet. That is fondue is a completely different experience unto itself. I would propose that we just stick with what I was thinking in my head is what if we went back and forth of things that you buy chocolate covered that are good. And then just see what sticks
So the chocolate,
out.
we're taking the chocolate fountain out of the equation.
It is its own fun thing. We could talk about chocolate fountains another time. That's my feeling.
Which I would argue for the chocolate fountain, there are three that are standing on the podium. I don't know where on the podium they're standing.
Rice Krispie treats is one.
I've never had the Rice Krispie treat version.
Oh, they're very good.
The version I had was at Melting Pot. It was little cubes of pound cake.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Strawberries and bananas.
Yeah. Those are all good.
All three of those are great. But I like this. I like this, sticking it specifically to things that you will purchase already covered.
All right, kick it off.
And the chocolate. Let's start in the produce aisle. Let's go to fruit. There's a lot of great fruit that works out really well chocolate covered. I mean, there's one that is the standout, I think.
Kiwi.
I've never had a chocolate covered kiwi. Actually, I think there are two that are the standouts. And that's the banana, same as with the chocolate fountain, and that's strawberries and bananas.
Yeah, bananas.
Frozen. Usually I've had chocolate covered bananas frozen, covered in nuts. And usually chocolate covered strawberries, the strawberries are still fresh.
Yeah.
In the preparations I've had.
Yes, me too.
Do you have a favorite out of those?
I want to say banana because I love bananas. I like just if I'm having some fruit, I'd rather have a banana than some strawberries. But I think there's something about it's not like a tartness. There's an acidity to strawberries that works really well with the chocolate. I think that's why they're such a great match. So I would say strawberries are superior to bananas for this purpose.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, you know what? We're going to definitely talk more about chocolate covered strawberries.
All right. Want me to throw one
So
out?
in that initial fruit battle, strawberries and bananas, there's more fruits, I think.
I mean, what? Pineapple?
Cherries.
Cherries.
Chocolate covered cherries.
Pretty good.
Oh, I love those little chocolate covered cherries. Around the holidays, you flip them up because there's a flat side. There's like the round part and then the flat bottom. Flip it over, bite the flat bottom off, and then you have a little chocolate bowl with a maraschino cherry inside. Woo!
That is good. That is pretty good.
Oh, those are good. What you got?
That's pretty good. Well, if we're going to stick with fruits, raisins.
Yeah,
like
I love
divisive?
some Raisinets.
Yeah,
Raisinets are divisive. I think you and I both like them, though. Right?
We do. That's true.
They're not my go-to at the movie theater, but they're a great movie theater snack.
Every once in a while, that just sounded southern. Every once in a while, I'll go look.
Every once in a while.
Y'all know if it pleases the court every once in a while.
I'm sorry, I did not understand a word of that, Your Honor.
Well, listen up. That didn't help.
How'd you get suspenders so quickly?
We're just going to keep all the suspenders up. Every once in a while at a snack bar, I will look at the Raisinets and go, oh, those exist. I haven't had those in a while. Let me try them again. And they're good. Milk chocolate, maybe a little better than dark chocolate on there.
As you famously said on this show, dark chocolate tastes like homework.
It does taste like homework sometimes. It depends on the cacao. When you
Once you break
like
70,
40, even 70 is pushing it. I think 70 to already tastes like light homework.
Yeah. You get to the 91% cacao. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's why. What are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
Who are you trying to impress? You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. But I do think that just raisins are not as good. Like they're good. They're great because you can pop them in, that you can get a bunch of them at once, but they're not the best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they're a contender, but I don't want to just name everything that exists. You know what I mean?
Of
you
course.
can coat anything in chocolate.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing that we need to take away from this episode is anything can be coated in chocolate.
That's right. That's a good, kids. We know, I know we have kids who listen to this. I want you to know something. Number one, if you work hard and believe in yourself, there's nothing in the world that you can't achieve.
Yeah.
Number two, you can coat anything you want to in chocolate. Should you? Different discussion.
Man, I've had chocolate covered crickets. You probably, they're not, they're a novelty. It's not something I'm going to eat every day.
With the whole time eating them where you're like, these are crickets, these are crickets.
Yeah, these are crickets, these are crickets, these are crickets, these are crickets. Guess what? These are crickets. I'm going to throw out there. I don't know if this is too broad a category and if we need to break it down smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say pre-made confections.
Like a chocolate covered Oreo?
Like a chocolate covered Oreo, chocolate covered gummy bears.
Yeah.
Anything that's already sweet, but then now covered in chocolate.
I mean, we're not including candy bars in this. This is a separate discussion.
A candy bar is a separate thing. Yeah. Like chocolate covered nougat and peanuts is a Snickers bar.
That's right. And caramel.
And caramel. Yeah. I mean, like chocolate covered gummy bears would be the one that comes to mind. Chocolate covered cookies. Yeah. Even cakes with a chocolate coating on the outside.
Those feel like, I don't know. I guess it all works together, right? You can say anything. You can say strawberry's fine on its own. Then you add chocolate to it. It enhances it. I don't know how much it enhances like an Oreo. There's already chocolate in that.
Right.
And a gummy bear for me, I get the different, it's different. You don't expect to bite into it and have it be gummy, something that is chocolate coated. But I don't that's not for me personally.
Yeah. I think that's a hat on a hat.
Yes. 100%. It's a hat on a hat.
I think it might be too much of a hat on a hat. All right. What do you got? What's your next one?
I'm going to go with a heavy hitter and go with pretzels in any form.
Yeah. I didn't take pretzels because I knew the Philadelphian was going to go with pretzels.
And I will say in this case, although the standard pretzel shape is great for it, chocolate covered pretzel rod also great. The difference is the chocolate covered pretzel rod, generally it's not entirely covered. It has a little handle on the bottom.
Yeah.
So the traditional pretzel shape, way better for chocolate coating because, it's similar to, I guess, how you would coat maybe donuts or something. You put it in like a cage and lower it in, you put the sprinkles on top, works for dark, works for milk. It's the perfect combination of sweet and salty.
Yeah.
Just a great piece.
You almost are creating a cookie bar. I think that's a great choice because pretzels, we're not talking like Philadelphia figure eight, like big soft. We're talking, crispy, that crispy, airy. Yes. And so the chocolate coating on the outside of something crispy and airy like that is great. And also, I think that a chocolate covered pretzel is, and this could be maybe one of our factors in determining this. They seem to be more often handmade. You know what I mean?
It feels handmade. Like,
it feels, even if it's
who knows
not,
how they're,
right,
if they're
right.
tossing them in a tub or whatever.
Right. Even if it's not, they feel more like anyone can do this. It feels like a holiday treat, like a little bundle of chocolate dips, pretzel rods wrapped up as a gift is great. I would take that any day. It's special. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I think
also,
pretzel's a great one.
you can get like the full size pretzel, or you can get a bag of mini pretzels. So even in different forms, like, a cherry is a cherry, a strawberry is a strawberry. The size is generally uniform, unless you are like a mad scientist who has genetically engineered gigantic and very tiny strawberries.
I've had some crazy giant strawberries before.
There are some big ones.
Crazy long stems. Love them.
Yeah. They're perfect for chocolate dipping because there's a lot to explore. Also, the other thing, and this happens with both strawberries and pretzels, is at a certain point you're eating it, the chocolate starts to flake off. With the strawberry, because of the amount of moisture in the fruit, it happens a lot quicker. And then you're left picking up the pieces. You can get away with a pretzel. You got a little bit longer to go before the chocolate flakes off generally. And sometimes it doesn't. And also for cherries as well, like things that are a little smaller and have less moisture on the outside of them tend to work better for chocolate coating because the chocolate coating will stay.
Well, I think the cherry is a little different because that's like liquid on the inside.
You're talking about a cordial.
I'm talking about cherry cordial. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that almost feels like a cheat. It doesn't feel like you are coating a cherry in chocolate. It feels like it is a chocolate truffle that has cherry as its filling.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's do another episode where we take like a Whitman sampler and pick the best chocolate inside of it, because we haven't done that yet. So
that's what a cherry cordial feels more like to me.
I don't think it's going to win.
I'm going to throw out one more. It sounds like we have two rising to the top right now, but I'm going to throw out almonds or nuts. I'll throw nuts in general out. Chocolate covered almonds, chocolate covered peanuts.
Some are better than others.
As far as like chocolate covered almonds go?
As far as the world of nuts, I wouldn't put them collectively.
You separate them. Okay.
I would separate them. But I think that's how about this? Are there any other major things that you can think of, like a marshmallow? Do you think a marshmallow is a winner?
That feels, I do like chocolate covered marshmallows.
I would rather have it in a s'more.
Yeah, if I'm having chocolate and marshmallow together, there's going to be a graham cracker surrounding it.
Exactly. At that point, it's not chocolate coating. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
So we may think of something else we reserve the right to, but why don't we take a break and then come back and really dig into all of the different types of nuts that can be chocolate covered?
Yeah. Like D's?
I didn't say it. Oh, I held out.
I know you did. You're always the guy that says D's.
I didn't, but I did.
All right.
As far as everybody knows, it's you.
Let's take a quick break. And to start the break, I would just like to say thank you so much to all of the people who support We Got This on the Maximum Fun Network. Let's tell you about some of the other great shows on the Max Fun Network. We'll be right back.
I'm Iffy Wadiway, the host of Maximum Film.
I'm Alonzo Duralde, also the host of Maximum Film.
And I'm Drea Clark, yet another host of Maximum Film. Every week, we hosts huddle up,
usually with an illustrious guest.
And we talk about films.
We have film news.
We have film quizzes.
We answer your film questions.
It's like the maximum amount of film talk. That's why we call it Maximum Film.
Maximum Film, the movie podcast that's not just a bunch of straight white guys. New episodes weekly on MaximumFun.org.
It could happen to you. You're all grown up now, a professional adult with diverse interests and hobbies. And one of those hobbies is video games.
You just can't help it. They're so good now.
If that's you, we're here to tell you, you are completely normal.
I'm Maddie Myers.
I'm Jason Schreier.
And I'm Kirk Hamilton, and together we form Triple Click, a podcast about video games.
If you think you might be a person who likes video games, we hope you'll give Triple Click a listen.
Triple Click, new episodes every Thursday on Maximum Fun.
Let's talk nuts, Hal.
All right, let's do it. Can we eliminate cashews? And I'll tell you why.
Oh, they're my favorite nuts. Generally, they're my favorite nuts. I used to like them a lot too,
but I got food poisoning from them a couple years ago. And since then, I can't have them anymore.
Like this is an acute thing, like you found out you are now allergic to them, or it was like some specific cashews.
Something was wrong.
Got you, and now you're just that was all I'd eaten that day, and I got violent
food poisoning during Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
We went away. It was my dad's birthday as well as it normally is during Thanksgiving.
Double.
This is 2019.
Yeah.
We went down to like Laguna Beach, somewhere there. And stayed, like, we'd been set up at this nice resort. We were all going to spend time there together. And I was like, I really need to eat. I was doing slow carb at the time. I was like, I'm going to have some cashews because I don't know what's here and I want to be smart about how I'm eating. And I ate the cashews and it was, it was filling. And I just got violently ill. Could not, they went to a really nice steakhouse for dinner and I couldn't sit at the table. I was just ill.
Food poisoning is the worst. It can ruin a food for you forever.
It can ruin it. That's why I can't have TGI Fridays anymore. I got food poisoning there in 2000.
That's why I don't go to Dupar's in LA. To be fair.
Oh, no.
I know, but that was my own fault because we went after closing night of Halloween Horror Nights a decade ago and don't have a sandwich that has mayo on it from a 24-hour place at 3:00 in the morning because you're not getting the New Day's mayo.
Oh, no.
Why are we saying all these gross things? We're talking about food. Let's get our stomachs back to where they need to be.
All this to say, when the chocolate-coated nut, I would say that there are two main contenders, right? The almond and the peanut. Is that fair?
I would say that. Though I've never had them, I imagine chocolate-covered walnuts would be great.
Yeah, they are. They're good.
All those little nooks and crannies in there.
It's good. It's a mealier nut.
Yeah.
It's sizable. But I don't think it's, I find walnuts as a whole, like on their own, to be really waxy and unenjoyable.
Oh, I love walnuts. Yeah.
I like it in things and on things, but by themselves, like with the chocolate, I would just be like, can I just have a square of chocolate? And I'll leave this walnut alone.
There's a nice benefit to walnuts, though, is satiety. If you are, if that's a thing that you're focused on, like I have been at various points in my life.
Like being a member of high satiety?
This was fun. This 400 some odd episodes was great.
I finally got you to walk out.
Oh my God.
But
yeah, I think it's almonds and peanuts. And I would argue
satiety?
How full you feel.
Satiated. I see it's, okay. I see it's in there. You taught me a new word. How about that?
Yeah, satiety. And, I think they're really good for that. A handful of walnuts, if you're worried about overeating, which I have been at many points.
Sure.
That is helpful. But I think that for me, there is a perfect version of the chocolate covered peanut. And it is the peanut M&M.
To me, they're so different from one another because it is a thin layer of chocolate and a thin layer of candy along with the peanut that forms a perfect bite in every piece. And when there's too much chocolate, it doesn't work. And when there's not enough chocolate, it doesn't quite work. But better to have a little bit less chocolate than a little bit more. A chocolate covered peanut is a completely different experience to me.
Than a peanut M&M?
Yes. And you know how much I love peanut M&Ms.
Sure.
So
they're the best non-popcorn movie snack.
I would put them, they are their own thing. They belong in the world of the candy bar because there's more going on there. Goobers are more what we're talking about here. And Goobers, I don't think, are the best version because they cut the peanuts in half. So it's like little tiny pea nuggets.
And that, you know what? That is what I was going to bring up is it feels like the nuts and even I would argue Raisinets. If we're going to eliminate the cherry cordial because it feels more like a candy, these feel more like candy to me. You know what I mean? Chocolate covered almonds, chocolate covered, because I don't think of them as, and maybe I'm wrong in this. I don't think of them as a food that is coated in chocolate, which technically is what it is. I think of them as chocolate candy with something in the middle.
Oh, I think of them as chocolate covered foods. Cause if you go to a gourmet like chocolate store, they will invariably have chocolate covered peanuts, chocolate covered almonds.
Yeah.
That is to me, like peanuts are the more working class, like blue collar, which is what I like about them. That is not an insult, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
Whereas almonds to me feel more like fancy.
Chocolate covered almonds. And then again, with any of these coated nuts, there's that waxiness though that you have to have in there. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big clump, right?
Well, yeah, it's a big, that's more like how they're treating the chocolate.
Yeah.
But to me, the almonds also have a weird waxiness to them.
Mm-hmm.
Peanuts just to me, I love peanuts just for satiety as well.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy like a small handful of peanuts, dry roasted, unsalted.
Yeah.
They're great.
You know what I got from my grandfather? We may have talked about this on the show before. The classic Southern version. Of course, I do it with a diet instead of a regular Coke. Peanuts in the Coke, man. You ever do that?
No,
does anyone in Jen's family do that?
Of you. Not that I know of.
Yeah, my grandfather would always get a little sleeve of peanuts, get a bottle of Coke, pop it open, dump the peanuts in.
And then do you eat the peanuts at the end?
Or throughout.
Oh, I see. You might get one. You have to be prepared at any time with each sip.
Yeah, exactly.
Choke.
You have to sip gently if you're doing that. But I'm a big fan of that.
I would have already died if I tried to drink boba tea. I would have been like, this is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you still cut your hot dogs up into half moons instead of circle discs?
No, I have a much bigger mouth now. I'm good.
That's fair. It feels to me, tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It feels to me like where we're at right now. We have a couple of contenders that are rising to the top. Chocolate covered peanuts, chocolate covered strawberries, and chocolate covered pretzels. What do you think?
I agree with that. I'm trying to think of a few others. One I could think of was popcorn. Good chocolate.
Oh, like Popcornopolis, like the.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't love it. I like it.
It's messy. It's super messy.
The other one. Oh, what was the other one? I had it in my head and then I lost it. Let me see if I can find it again. Cause I had it in my head.
Are you scrolling in your head or on a screen?
Oh, I do. Oh, no, I remember. Cause it's at Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is like the best purveyor of chocolate covered foods, by the way.
Oh, they do some
beans.
Cool, fun chocolate covered stuff. I love chocolate covered espresso beans. Yeah.
It's too much, right?
It's too much.
Is it just me?
It's
cause you're like, I'm like, but I don't drink coffee.
They're very good, but you also have to remember it's chocolate covered caffeine. You're having chocolate covered drugs is what you're having.
And the coffee beans don't taste good.
Oh, I don't mind them. I like the bitterness of biting into a coffee bean like that with chocolate on the outside.
No, I don't like the chocolate saves it. It's like if it wasn't covered in chocolate, you would just be grinding it up and somehow getting hot water into it so you could drink it. It's not something, and even drinking it, the water dilutes it a little bit, but it's still strong. So maybe you add a little sugar or you add a dairy or non-dairy creamer to it or a flavoring of some sort.
Listening to you describe how coffee works as a non-coffee drinker is hilarious.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No, you are. You know what you are? You're the Alexis de Tocqueville of coffee. You're like, hey, man, I'm an outsider to this world. I'm just going to tell you what I see.
Look, here's what's going on in my world.
Yeah, they're good. But do you think they're a contender up there with those other three?
No, I don't.
And I would honestly, I like chocolate covered peanuts. I don't think they hold a candle to chocolate covered strawberries and chocolate covered pretzels I can eat a handful of chocolate covered peanuts and not think about them. If I'm having chocolate covered strawberries or chocolate covered pretzels, it's a treat.
One at a time. Unless they're the minis, then you can just shove them into your mouth. I eat mindlessly, I realize.
Yeah.
I realize I'm eating like, if I don't eat it, there's going to be a punishment. I don't know. I'll work it out in therapy. That's neither here nor there. So
That's
we have
fair.
pretzels or strawberries in the finals.
Yeah.
We always knew it was going to come down to this. All of you listening.
Let me posit a couple of things to you.
Go ahead.
Again, I've been doing this. This is the second episode we've done today. I keep doing this.
Yes.
On the one hand, in my opinion, on the one hand, chocolate covered pretzels, the main thing they have going for them are anyone can make them, especially pretzel rods. They're crafty. They're delicious. They're usually or frequently made with love by someone that you know and care about.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's sort of the vibe of when I think I'm not talking about mini pretzels. I'm talking about rods specifically. Mini, like small chocolate covered pretzels you can buy. That's flips. I can buy those at the 7-Eleven.
Regular shaped pretzels you have to buy like a C's Candies or something like a a gourmet chocolate shop. Generally, you're getting the full sized, not the flips.
The flips are the
regular.
Flips are the small, 2-inch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would argue that pretzel rods being the easiest for people of all ages to dunk in chocolate, wait for them to dry, sprinkle whatever you want on them, wrap them up, and decorate them for the holidays. They're a great holiday thing. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, chocolate covered strawberries are sexy. Chocolate covered strawberries are evocative. Like chocolate covered strawberries on date night are perfect. You know, there's something special about that. There's something seductive. You see a picture of a chocolate covered strawberry and it's evocative of Valentine's Day or date night or sitting in front of a fire with a glass of wine. You know what I mean?
I've made chocolate covered strawberries once in my life, and it was the very first Valentine's Day that Jennifer and I celebrated together. I made her a special meal. I dressed up in a tuxedo. This is to have in our old apartment.
I love that. Place. Yeah. Yeah.
And I tried to make them. That being said, is there something to the chocolate covered strawberry being specifically for sexy time, whereas the pretzels is more widely is like, it's not sexy. Like, baby, I wanted to show you I love you. So here are some partially coated pretzel rods. Some of them have sprinkles on them.
I think it's weirdly
chocolate covered pretzels every time, as opposed to a specific time for chocolate covered strawberry. Anniversary, Valentine's Day, and does
not just any time. Not just any time, and that's the thing. Not just any time, but any person. I think the reason that maybe subconsciously, the reason that we landed on these two, strawberries and pretzels, is because they are so frequently a homemade thing. They are to give someone chocolate covered strawberries or chocolate covered pretzels. To give someone either of these is to say, I value you. You are special to me in some way, large or small.
Right.
One of them is, I value you. You are special to me in all different kinds of walks of life for quantity of people that are special to you for that thing. Chocolate covered strawberries seem more like you are the most special to me food. You know what I mean? Like one of them says, y'all are special to me. One of them says, you are the most special to me. I would argue that chocolate covered pretzels have more utility in that.
I agree with you. I think I lean towards pretzels because they're for everyone.
Yeah.
As opposed to, not that everybody can't have chocolate covered strawberries, but there is sort of a weight to them, right? There is like a romantic inference there.
Yeah.
Where it's weird if somebody else gives you chocolate covered strawberries, even if you're happy to get them. It's like, why is Aunt Frida sending me chocolate covered strawberries?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, Aunt Frida sent me chocolate covered pretzels. Rock on. I'm going to eat these later. I'm going to lay flat on the table. Oh, that's next week. Never mind. You'll hear it next week. You'll love it.
Yeah, that bit will make sense next week.
Or in a couple weeks. It's fine.
You know what? I think not only are we narrowing it down to the real winner, but I can add another element to this that I think puts pretzels over the top over strawberries, and that's shelf life.
Yeah, they last a good long time.
That's
true, because it will not decompose. Pretzel won't.
We have to ask, since we've narrowed it down to pretzels, I am team pretzel rods in this instance. I don't want to start a whole nother thing.
No, they're both great. No. I love them on a rod, love them on a regular size pretzel.
Do we want to differentiate, or do we just want to say chocolate covered pretzels?
No, I think the other good thing about pretzels, there are a lot of different shapes, but really you're only putting it on the standard pretzel shape or the rod.
Yeah.
That's really what it's for.
Yeah.
People of the world, it's chocolate coated season. It's a chocolate coated world that we live in. Dip some food in your favorite chocolate. But when you do that, make sure that the food is pretzels, because that's the only thing anybody's allowed to coat in chocolate anymore.
Yeah,
that's
take
right.
that, Kiwis.
We're done. We're done with you, Kiwis.
Yeah. Not New Zealand people. We love New Zealand people. Kia ora.
We love New Zealand.
We're talking about the fruit.
Kia ora, yeah. That's right. And we love your safety videos on your airline.
So good. Everybody go look up the safety videos on, what's the name of that airline again? Is it just Air New Zealand? Yeah. Look at the Air New Zealand safety videos on YouTube. They're great.
If you would, just anybody who was on that tour, just going,
that was a great move for the audio podcast.
I added it in there. It makes you think. Kia ora. Listen, Happy New Year, everybody. Celebrate your new year with friends, family, or alone if that's what you choose. Just have a happy and healthy one. And when you are reaching for a chocolate-covered food to enjoy, either on the eve of the new year or on the new year itself, please make sure that it is chocolate covered pretzels.
Ooh, make some black and white formal chocolate covered pretzels for your New Year's party. If you're having a New Year's party.
If you have white chocolate in your house, throw it out right now.
How?
Asked and answered.
As a drizzle.
Asked and answered.
As a drizzle.
Asked and answered. Drizzle that into the trash. Drizzle it in there. See what happens. Put that on the pretzel. See what happens. Just coat it with yogurt. Coat it with yogurt.
You with yogurt. This topic is closed, but wait, what?
I don't want to be coated in yogurt. It's sticky. I have to wash it off later.
All right. I won't coat you in yogurt.
Coat me in chocolate.
Not in 2022. I won't.
I'll consume myself like I'll turn into a singularity if you coat me in chocolate.
Like Pizza the Hut?
Yeah.
Throw up Spaceballs?
He ate himself to death. That's right.
Oh, this topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at WeGotThisTweets, or
you can email us at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or go to our Facebook group. Talk about your favorite chocolate covered foods in the safest and most enjoyable place on the internet to be. Facebook.com/group/WeGotThisPodcast is the place to go. Thank you to producer Ken Plume. You can follow and support him at patreon.com/Ken Plume. Thank you to researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us a 2022 filled with really fun episodes, really fun guests, great support from the Maximum Fun community, from the people of the world community, from the Facebook group. I hope that everyone has a wonderful, safe, delightful new year, and that you kick off this upcoming year with a bang. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.